parents will never understand. No matter how much time changed, there are just some things our parents will never fully understand. The way we think, the way we live, relationships, mental health, social media, pressure. Our generation and theirs can feel completely different sometimes. Hey guys, welcome back to Cha, Chaos and Chill, where we talk about life, the mess, and everything in between over a cup of cha. I'm Jazz.
I'm Harp.
And today we're talking about the things our parents will probably never understand, no matter how hard we try to explain them. And honestly, this conversation might hit a little close to home. So growing up, I grew up in an Indian household. So my parents did teach me all the ways to live in an Indian culture. Plus I did grow up in a westernized culture too.
Same, me too, right? I lived in an Indian household too growing up, but our parents, because they came here pretty much at a young age, I would say around 19, 20 when they were, so they were kind of adapted to the Western culture as well, but mostly they embedded a lot of Indian in us too.
So when it comes to living in an Indian household, there were so many rules. I don't know if you had to follow, but I had to follow these rules in my house. So the number one thing my parents were don't speak English at home. It was speak Punjabi, because then otherwise I wouldn't learn it, which I'm thankful that I know it now.
Dude, absolutely. My parents used to say, you and your brother can speak English together.
Yeah.
But with us, you have to speak Punjabi. And like you said, I am so thankful because now going to India and stuff, or even just communicating with anybody, you're able to do that. You're not just sitting there like a deer in headlights.
Well, I know some people who grew up in an Indian household and do not speak Punjabi, and then they can't understand it. I'm like, oh my god, I feel so bad.
Yeah, and I feel like it's the generation now though. It's always just English, but you're always just no, speak Punjabi, you need to learn it. Because, our grandparents, our in-laws, whoever it is, they only speak Punjabi.
Yeah, growing up, I know in Vancouver it's different, but in Winnipeg, we never had, Punjabi schools. So, it was our parents' job to teach us. And it's easier for me to communicate with family in India, and I still communicate with them to this day.
We used to go to Punjabi school at the Gurdwara in Mackenzie.
I went too, but I got kicked out.
Really? How? Why?
Not gonna say.
Okay.
I made it a long way, and then the Baba got kicked out too after.
Oh, yeah, we went through a few Babas too. The one Baba we stopped going to because he kept hitting us, so we're not going to Punjabi school anymore.
I remember my brother and my two other cousins went. They went for one day, and they're we're not doing this, but I still had to stay.
You got the short end of the stick.
Hey, I made a lot of friends.
So what other rules did you have growing up?
Growing up rules, it wouldn't be Punjabi thing. Growing up, I had be in bed by 9, make sure your homework is done, stuff like that I had.
So the normal stuff, right? The rules follow this, do this,
Oh, the main rule, don't talk to boys.
Oh my god.
Don't bring a boy home. Don't even look at a boy.
Okay, if we brought a boy home back then, I think we would get literally shipped to India. First we would get beat, then we would get shipped to India.
I feel it's so different though. So if a girl brings a guy home, the parents flip out. But if a guy brings a girl home, I feel sometimes they're more calm about it.
Because double standards. I'm telling you, I totally get it. It's okay if the boy goes out, but hey, the girl's not allowed to. Why? It's. I guess that's just how they also grew up too.
Yeah, but
right?
It's you can't talk to boys. I'm I go to a Canadian school. I have guy friends. I'm always gonna talk to them, but I'm gonna be my mom said I can't talk to you.
Yeah, but my parents, they were pretty easygoing like that. They knew, because we go to school together, and they knew they're gonna talk to boys, and we live in a small town, so really you can't get away with anything out there, anyways. But they knew, and they didn't care, and they knew that they raised responsible kids.
Yeah, and then other rules I had was if I was going out, my parents wanted to know where I was and what time I was coming home. They just wanted to know where I was at all times. And they're just don't lie about it behind our back, but you can go out.
Oh yeah, the same for us. But as we got older,
there's some lies we had to tell.
There's always some lies we have to tell. Right? So what's something your parents say that used to say all the time to you?
Like growing up, like my parents would always say to me is like it would be like don't go down the wrong path and stuff like that. I remember that was being drilled in my head a lot. Don't hang out with the wrong crowd. Like if someone's peer pressuring something, like don't do it if you
Yeah,
don't
of
feel
course.
comfortable. That's mainly what my parents like drilled in my head. Like
Yeah.
growing up, not gonna lie, I was a good kid. Out of all my cousins, I would say I was a good kid.
That's good though. No, the same with me, but something like funny that your parent, like your mom or dad used to say to you like all the time. Like, there's always something like Indian parents would used to say like, oh, like like I know like some parents and I've heard it too. "Main tere jutti maru."
So like when it would come to like when I got a little bit older, like I would help like parents like put stuff away in the house. So sometimes like there's no room in the cupboard or something. Like mom, where do I put this? She's like, "Mera set that today. Mera set."
Oh my god. Okay. So my mom used to say that all the time too, and then I started saying that, right? I always just, now that anybody at home they go worship, I'm like, put it on my head. Just stick it right here in my head. You know where the jeet is? Just stick it right there. It's funny how the stuff they used to say to us, now we start
We
saying
always say it all the time.
yes. So true.
Or be like, oh, jutti maniya chak ke. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, oh, like if jutti's like putti, they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna throw it at you.
Yeah, totally. Oh my god.
So like another rule would be like you would have to ask your parents like if you want to go do something. Or let's say your parents say no,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why? Like I said so. I said so.
मैं कहता बस तू जा नहीं सकती. And you're like, okay, well, why not? Because I said that you can't. And that was it. That was the end of the discussion. Right? And that's, and then, and we're always having to ask, like, our parents, like, okay, I'm going here. Like, for us, like, dances. Like, were you able to ever go to dances?
To be honest, like we never had them growing up. Like we had our first dance in grade 6, and then high school. Like no, I was just so busy with sports.
Really? Like, you never went to, like, so was I, but you never went to any of your dances?
Not the only dance I went to was like in middle school, and then I would go. I didn't go to a high school dance except for my like grad.
Your grad?
Yeah.
I know for us, like, I went to like all our high school dances, right? Like, yeah, grade 6 was the first
Yeah.
one, grade 7, and then so on and so on. I remember like, but we used to like there was like a couple like we had such a small Punjabi community in our town, and when we wanted to go to a dance, we'd always have to make sure that the other girls were going too. That's the only way that we'd be allowed to go, right? So you'd be like, yeah, so and so is going, so and so is gonna be there, and then they like call each other to make sure that they are going. So then they finally go, and then eventually, like when I got older, like into like grade 10, 11, 12, I would just be like, you know what, I'm going to the dance, give me some money. And that was it. I never used to ask anymore. I think I kind of became a little bit of a rebel.
Yeah, I was not. I was like a goody teacher. I was trying to like focus on my studies and everything and like make sure you get good grades.
Yeah, I mean, we all did, but you still had to have fun.
I told you I was the perfect child growing up, let's just say.
I plead the fifth on that.
That's like when it comes to like dating too. Like I feel like I was like could not even like date growing up. My parents were like, don't talk to boys, don't look at boys.
I mean, okay, that with ours, I think because we grew up like in such a different time compared to now, our parents still had the mentality that their parents had put on them.
Yeah.
Right? So they were like we were trying to understand them and they were trying to understand us, but it wasn't working. And that's why I feel like a lot of people, like you said, the dating you weren't allowed. Like obviously neither was I. There was no way I was gonna date and bring somebody home. Right? Yeah, right. Do I want to get juttiya? No, right? But then that's why a lot of people did it behind their backs, behind parents' backs, right? Especially in a small town because you had to hide everything that you did because otherwise it's gonna by the time you get home the whole town's gonna know.
Like if you let's say you do like go on a date with a guy, like you don't get the guy to pick you up in front of your house. You like go like down the street, turn on the corner, I'll go walk and tell your parents I'm going for a walk.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, in Winnipeg you can probably get away with that, but in our town, no, because every time you turn down any street, there was an East Indian family that lived there that knew you. And they'd be like, why is she down here? What is she doing? And then you get into a random person's car, and they're gonna be like, hockey.
I don't know if your parents had this habit. My mom had this habit. She would look out the window when someone would come pick me up.
Oh, Our parents all the time. Okay, we had people that lived like down the street from us. Like it was all like Punjabis in our like area, and they would literally see, like watch like every house what they're doing, what everybody's doing. I'm like, this is so annoying. You literally you have to like jump the fence so they can't see you.
Like it's so like I was like my friends would be like, "Oh, your mom's looking out again." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess she's
Just
making
wave,
sure,
just wave,
because she's making sure I'm fine."
just wave. I mean, I think that's why now when we say bye to somebody, we stand outside for like 10 minutes saying bye.
I'm surprised my mom didn't walk me to the car door.
Oh my, I'm sure some parents did that, right? But that's the difference. Okay, that's the difference between generations now, right? They were taught, so they're telling us what they were taught, right? So now that we grew up in that, we are more open to our kids or whoever dating, right? Yeah, they're probably gonna hide it for a little bit, but then when they know, okay, this is the person I'm gonna be with, they'll introduce. Or you just know, like, okay, your kids are dating, we're more open.
Yeah, I feel like we would accept him or be like, "Okay, at least tell us," and then like, be like, "Okay, like that's
Yeah,
fine
and
with
you're
us."
just gonna, you want to make sure that, be careful and
Yeah.
this and that, right? And that it comes down to like how you raise your kids. If they're respectful and they're responsible, then it shouldn't be an issue. But that's the thing our parents won't ever understand.
Yeah, and then when it comes to get married after you're done your studies, they're like, "Oh, it's time to get you married. Have you found someone?" It's like I wasn't allowed to talk to a guy my whole entire career, kind of thing, growing up, and now I expect me to pull a guy out of my pocket.
Yeah, like you sheltered me my whole life, and now I don't even know how to talk to a guy. Now, what do you want me to do? Right?
My mom would be like, my parents would be like, "You haven't found someone?" They're like, "You haven't found someone?" I was like, "Mom, I don't have time." Like I would tell my parents, "I don't have time to find anyone." Like
But see, then okay, now that like you said, you don't have time to find somebody, but then this is where it comes to how we use social media, right?
Yeah.
We go into like people go into online dating, right? You're like basically like you're getting set up online now.
it's scary these days online what people do.
Well, I mean, yeah, these days now, like, okay, back when we were not now, let's just say, because now it's just crazy. You have so much AI, so many fake profiles and whatnot, so you have to be super careful. But people were doing online dating.
Yeah, I could never remember eHarmony, was it?
There were so many out there, man.
That's the main I remembered.
Oh my god, I remember POF, Plenty of Fish.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
I don't think it was in my generation.
No. Yeah, I remember that one. But that's how people would meet, right? And I think our parents didn't, or whoever's parents, not just ours, like anybody, didn't understand that. And it was hard to explain, like, hey, oh, I'm online dating, or I met this person online. Like, how do you meet somebody online?
Yeah, because they're like, they don't understand. But then I feel like my parents growing up, like, they've heard of like Indian dating sites, like Shadi.com.
I think every Indian knew about Shadi.com. Now we just call Auntie Seema.
I joked to my friend about them, like, should we call Auntie Seema? She had like a dating thing in Toronto. I was like,
Oh my god, Seema Auntie.
we should. She charges 40K.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah, around 40K.
See, just do online dating instead then. Or just tell your parents to set you up with somebody from India.
You know what? We should become matchmakers.
Oh my god.
40K?
No, I'm not getting into that. No, sorry. You know how people are so picky? Like, gotta put your standards down low. Come on, you can't just have everything. Yeah, like we're talking about, like, yeah, like social media, and parents don't. I feel like when we're trying to explain like how we use social media these days and how we meet people, right? Like our parents, not just our parents, but the generation before them too, like their parents, our grandparents, they don't understand. You know how someone says, "Oh, okay, what's your job?" You're like, "Oh, I create content online." They think that's just a hobby that some people do, but that's actually people's jobs these days, right? Like this is what they do. They create content. We're trying to do a podcast. This is what we're doing. And that's people make their money off of that. And I feel like parents don't understand online jobs either, or how, they think, oh, they're just sitting on their phone all the time.
They will like go get a real job.
And you're like, I am doing a job. Like, I'm making money off of this. I am doing, a job on my phone, right? You know what I mean? Like I know like sometimes I'll be sitting on my phone but I'm doing action. Yeah, okay, fine, I scroll a lot too, whatever. But if I'm actually doing something, I'm doing something on my phone. Like cuz are literally they're computers now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like parents do not understand that. But then also it comes to like I feel bad for the parents. Like they don't know anything about technology nowadays. Like finding a job, you have to do it online. And let's say like you just like lost your job or like got laid off. Like how are parents supposed to find a job online? They don't even know how to use technology.
Exactly. So that's why they come to us now, right? I know my parents, they'd be like, oh, this happened to the phone or this happened to the TV. Can you fix it? Sure, video call me and I'll see what I can do, right?
Yeah, my parents would always be like, "Oh, this is not working on my phone," or "This happened."
You're like, video call, I'll figure it out. But yeah, like you said, with jobs online, they don't understand it. Before, we used to go and physically hand in a resume.
Yeah, now no one accepts it. They'll be like, "Oh, apply online, apply online."
Yeah, just go online and apply, right? And I feel even like I know with my parents, if something like, oh, Harpy, they're saying, online karna hai, can you do it for us? Because they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, like any online document you get, it's just my mom be like, "Can you do this? Can you do this?" I'm like, "Sure, I can do it for you."
Yeah, exactly. I know to this day, I know I'm just like, you know what? Dad, send me a picture. I'll figure it out. I'll do it myself, right? That's just how it goes.
So like saying like finding jobs online was like is super hard for like our parents and stuff like that. Like I know like growing up like there was only one working parent in the household. Like the mom usually stayed home and then
Yep.
the guy would go to work. So like you can't really expect like the woman to really know technology that well, let's just say, because she's always home doing the housework.
Yeah, that's true. Back then people could get away with just having one income. Whereas now you need to, both people have to work.
Even like when both people have to work, it's always like 50-50. Like even household things, too, chores. Like guys do half of it, girls do half of it.
Exactly. And our generation understands that. Like we understand that hey, we have to work together, we're splitting everything, we're doing 50-50. If you're gonna cook, okay, I'll do the dishes. Okay, we're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, right? You split everything. And I feel like our parents, not just like ours, I know ours became more westernized, so they kind of understand that the guy does it too. Because I know in my family, like the guys do the house stuff too if they need be, right? But let's just say, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but let's just say someone that's coming from India, right? Or the ones that have now that come from India, they think that the woman has to do everything, right? And I feel like the parents don't understand that hey, no, the guy can do that. He is a 30-year-old man. He can wash his own dishes.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like the guys and girls need to split everything in half. Like it's not a one person show here.
Exactly. Like you want to eat something? Well, then cook something and eat something. You're thirsty? Okay, get it yourself. You know what I mean? You want jaw? Okay, make it yourself. And I feel like some parents don't understand that at all.
What's so annoying is like I see some guys like they'll just sit on the couch and be like, "Oh, can you get me a glass of water?" What, you can't get up and get one?
Yes, I've seen that too. Like not even just like I've seen older people do that. That they're literally the kitchen's like 2 feet away and like, hey, can you give me a glass of water? And you're like, dude, you're closer. Just go.
The only pass is if you're sick or like you're older and you're sick. You can't. That's the only pass.
No, no, they don't get a pass. No, no, because when we're sick, we're still doing everything. No, no man flu. But okay, but that's an expectation that our parents have, or anybody's parents, right? And then they're like, oh, what will people say if he's doing this, or like even let's just say taking care of the baby,
So like,
right?
okay,
Like they think, oh, the woman has to do everything, right? Oh, they have to clean, they have to change a diaper, they're doing this.
no, the guy
But
has to help too.
exactly, 100%. But then it also, but it's so embedded in us that oh, what will look you can't get. Who cares what people will say? You're living. This is your household. You do whatever you want to. Who cares what society thinks you should be doing?
Yeah, live your own life, but best for both of you guys, like what works out for both of you guys. Have that conversation with them, and what works out best, do it that way.
Yeah, and and then we have to explain that to parents, grandparents, right? As the generations as keep going, we are the ones, and new generation are the ones to explain to parents, like, look, things are changing. This is how it has to be now.
Because you can't really have that affect like your mental health too. Like it's gonna affect it if it just keeps landing on one person.
Oh, of course. And even our parents, grandparents, whoever it is, I feel like in our culture they don't understand the mental health. They think, oh, nothing's wrong with her. They just say, oh, just do this, right? Or, or dua karla, just go for a walk or do this. Well, no, I'm trying to tell you what is bothering me or what's affecting me, and I need help with it.
Yeah, and that comes with like burnout too. Like how much can you really do? Like you can't just work 10-hour shifts, come home, cook, clean, do everything, feed your husband, feed everyone. Like it's hard.
Yeah, and that's where it comes down to people having to work as a team. And like we said, they don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
That, hey, okay, if she's working, I'm working too, but I'm home before her. Okay, maybe I could help with some of the stuff before she gets home. I can prepare, even if they don't want to cook anything. Okay, here, I can get it started, and then she can come home and finish. Right?
Yeah, that like, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, you work 10 hours, you want to come home and rest too. Like,
and they don't understand that.
It's not fair just the guy gets to go to work, comes home, and just relax.
Exactly, double standard, right? They think, okay, oh, I worked a long day and this, that. Well, so did I. And now you're expecting me to take care of the house. But what about you? Right? They don't understand that, right? But then when we are telling them, like, oh, you need to do this, can you do this? They think, why is she telling him to do it? Why isn't she doing it? Right? And I feel like like we said, they don't understand this. And we always have to explain it.
I feel like they just need to like step back, like even the parents should just step back and be like, hey, let them do what they want to do. It's their lives at this point.
Yeah, and some parents do adjust. They're like, okay, this is how they do it here, right? And we just have to kind of adjust to that. But there are families that I've seen and heard that aren't like that. The wife, the girl has to do absolutely everything.
There's sometimes I've seen, like, I've even heard, like, wives waking up at, like, 4 a.m. And I'm like, and they don't go to bed till, like, 10 or 11 p.m. I'm like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah, and I don't think that's fair. If we're having to get up at 4 o'clock to cater to every single need, you need help as well, because you're going to go insane. You're going to get burnt out.
You're going to end up mental.
You'll end up in the hospital, and then, then you can't have those. You got to try to have those emotional conversations with them. Be like, okay, look, this is bugging me, or I can't go through this any longer. If I'm getting up, I need help.
Yeah, like, that's where the guy really has to, like, step up and say something, too.
Of course. Absolutely. Right? And these are conversations that, might be hard to have with parents and trying to explain it to them. But as uncomfortable as they feel, you have to have them, because as a culture, as a society, a generation, we're changing, and they have to adapt to it too. That, hey, okay, we may be embedded this way, but the new generation, this is how it's done.
And then watch when our generation comes, they're gonna want to change things up too on us.
Oh, I'm scared for our generation. Okay.
The amount of technology out there.
Not even just technology. I feel like you and I, growing up, I feel like we are tough. We said this before, and the generation now is just way too soft. Way too soft.
One thing, they're gonna start crying. I'm like, oh my god, this is so.
Everything is offensive to them these days. Have you seen the shows we grew up to?
How do we take a joke?
Oh, exactly. 100%. I agree.
So, like, with the mental health thing, I do agree with, like, with growing up with, like, brown parents. Like, it's hard to express your feelings to them. Like, they, I feel like, do not understand anything that you try saying to them how you feel. Like, let's say you're sad about a boy, then we're like, jacket.
Right. Well, not even just a boy, just like in like school, if you're being bullied, or if you're, work, it's, taking a toll on you. They don't understand. They'll just be like, "Oh, just work harder," or if they're bullying you, okay, going to just talk to the school or something, or it's nothing's being done. And it sometimes you try to talk to parents, you try to explain it to them, and they don't fully understand because they were taught complete opposite of not to share their emotions.
Yeah, but like you have to, because if you can't like hold it all in, because you're gonna like burst one day.
Oh, 100%. And sometimes the outcome can be worse.
Yeah,
You've seen it, right?
like I know not this. I know this is a hard like thing to say, but like I know a couple people who have committed suicide because of that.
Absolutely. Us, same. And it's tough, right? Even not just like people we know, but even like you've seen stories, people being bullied. Like recently, I just saw a story of a Punjabi boy. I can't remember where it was. I think it was London or somewhere. It was young, and he committed suicide because he's being bullied in school. He's in an all-white school.
Yeah, that's hard. Like growing up, like I went to an all white school. My The only Punjabis was me and my brother in school, and then he was in grade 6. I was in kindergarten, so we're 6 years apart. And then when he graduated, I was only Punjabi in school.
But you grew up there, so people already knew you, right? Let's just say people that are newcomers that are coming, right? Our parents, like, yeah, the time that we grew up, there was racism, but people still got along.
There was a kid in my middle school who was in grade 6, new to India. So they paired me up with him just to help, and
Yeah.
like, because I was the only Indian girl in the class. And like, he got so bullied that he transferred schools. And then he went to a different school. There's more Punjabis, and he actually liked it there. And then I came across to him again in high school.
Yeah, and see, try explaining that to your parents. Yeah. Having that uncomfortable conversation that, hey, I'm being bullied, I'm being bugged, I need to transfer schools. And so our parents sometimes don't fully understand that.
I played soccer growing up, and there was an Indian kid in my soccer team. So it was a co-ed that time. And like, he got bullied and he had to transfer schools too. And then he went to a different school. He was much better. Again, I ran into him at the high school because we went to the same high school.
Yeah, and yeah, it's tough, right? Like, especially, yeah, it's hard to like these conversations are very hard to have, right? Because it is happening in our culture, and it's happening to this day. And I feel like a lot of kids can't, like, yes, now people do talk to their mom and dad, grandparents, whoever they are, because they're more westernized, or they've lived here for so many years that they kind of adapted, and they know, okay, kids are going to tell us we got to pay attention. But back then, you weren't able to tell your parents or anybody. You suppressed it.
You had to like hide so much.
Yeah.
That's when you had the diary.
Yeah. Or you just put a smile on your face and say everything's okay, but yet in, like, say, the shower, or at nighttime in your room, you're bawling your eyes out, or you're literally depressed.
Yeah, that's where like I feel like the parents need to understand more.
Yeah.
Like what's happening.
And then they say like, oh, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, Jure, like, what's wrong with her? And you're like trying to tell them like, ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੈਨੂੰ, ਐਵੇਂ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. And you're like, no, like, there's literally, I'm trying to tell you, but you can't.
So there's like this boy in India I know, and like he's from the same friend as us. So he actually went into depression over a girl, and his parents made up a thing that, oh, the school's very hard for him, so we transferred him. And the boy actually ran away from home, but he came back at night. They found him, and then like the parents just said like, oh, he's just like stressed about school, that's why. And transferred in school. I'm like, no, it's for a girl.
Yeah, because that literally, what will people say?
Yeah.
They're not going to tell, parents aren't going to tell the truth. They're not, because they're, like you said, it's an image, right?
They want to protect their image.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, puri karke depression, well, okay, that's stupid. You don't need to fall into depression over that. I mean, yeah, you can be sad, cry, whatever, but hey, move on, right? Things happen. Happens all the time. But it comes down to, what will people say?
Yeah, like I feel like parents need to put that aside and mainly focus on their kids and like what their mental health is.
Yeah, listen to your kids, right? No matter how hard it is to understand, try to understand it, right?
So with like how parents should really like understand like the kids nowadays because of mental health and all that stuff, I find like there's sometimes things that I wish that my parents could understand.
Like what?
Talking to boys.
Every household talking to boys, that it was okay.
Looking at boys.
Looking at boys.
You couldn't even look at a boy.
No, not even just that. Like even like wearing shorts or a tank top.
Oh my god, so growing up, I was not allowed to wear ripped jeans. My dad did not like that, so I never wore ripped jeans.
I mean, and like the parents wouldn't understand. Like it's fashion. They're like, how is that fashion?
So, funny story. So, we went to India. So, me and my family went to India. My ripped jeans were in style that time. So, my brother wore ripped jeans to India. My mom's nanny was like, come here to my brother. And she was like, here's money. Do your parents not have money to buy you clothes? Go buy clothes. My brother was like, this is the fashion.
Oh my god! I know. I used to bug people too when they were used to wear like really ripped jeans. Like, so did they run out of fabric or what? But no, all jokes. Like it's fun. I know our parents will never understand that. And I remember, so we used to have this person in Mackenzie, and he used to say, I'm not going to say any names, but I know some people will understand who I'm talking about. They used to say, like, oh, I'm going to say it in Punjabi because you have to get the full effect. He'd be like, Asi ni onu kache paun dindi, but paun diya.
I want to meet this person.
No longer here.
Oh.
But it was just funny the way he said it, but I'm not gonna name any names, but yeah. But no, like on serious note, like our parents, like I do wish there was things that our parents did understand. Like it was okay to go out. It was okay that we could go to the movie theater, or we can go out with our friends. As long as you trust your kid and that you've raised a responsible child, shouldn't be an issue. You know where they are. These days we have phones.
They can track us.
Kids have phones these days. You know exactly where they are, where they're not, right? Or you can be the one to drop them off and pick them up.
Yeah, growing up, like, either, like, my parents would drop us off, or, like, my friends' parents would drop us off, but then we all knew where each other were. And, like, yeah, there was a certain curfew you had to be home by, like, usually it was, like, 9 or 10.
Yeah, right? And for us, like, living in a small town, as soon as the traffic lights would come on, we knew to go home. Like, the lights, the night lights, we were like, okay, time to go home. And plus, they would just find where all the bikes are, and they know whose house you're at, right? So it was easy. So what's one lie you told your parents growing up?
I'm going out with this person, but I'm actually going out with someone else.
I think a lot of people use that one. I remember sorry, mom, dad, if you understand this one and listen. So the closest McDonald's to us was like 2 hours away. So we would tell our parents, like, hey, I'm going to be late after school. I have like practice or something today till like 5. But we had already ditched school that morning. We told the school, like, we call and pretend to be our parents. Like, oh, they're not coming to school today. And we would drive, whoever had a license, we would drive to Prince George and go get McDonald's and go shopping for the day and then come back.
You drove for 2.5 hours for McDonald's?
Dude, okay, that's the closest McDonald's we had, and McDonald's was good back then.
Glad, see, Winnipeg isn't that bad now.
Right.
Everything's so close.
Whatever. That was fun for us, right? Like growing up in a small town, like these are the stupid stuff we used to do. Like, oh yeah, we're like you said, you're going to someone's house, but you're somewhere else. You're like, hey, I'm studying at the library, but hey, yeah, you're at some house party. Right? Or you're like, oh, I'm going to Slande the Karechalensi, but then you're at some bush party in the middle of nowhere. in the bushes partying.
Or you'd be like, oh, I'm just hanging out with a bunch of girls, but then guys show up. We didn't tell you. parents that.
No, no, he didn't. But we always used to have one, like but there's sometimes there's that one friend that would tell their parents everything, and then you're like, damn, man.
No, I never had any friends that would rat to their parents.
Not to your parents. I think we had a few.
Nah, I didn't.
Oh well. Then you just lie with that lie. Or if they already know,
and then you have to remember the lie though, because they ask you like a week later.
Or what would happen is like if their parents found out that you were gone somewhere where you weren't supposed to be, by the time you get home, they already know about it. So and then they pretend that they didn't tell you, and you're like, oh, where were you? And you're like, telling them, like, no, we know the truth. And you're like, damn.
I feel like I never got caught though.
Yeah, I mean, now we are. Sorry. Right? So, growing up, what's something as a kid that you got in trouble for that kids wouldn't today?
So, like, when my mom or my dad would cook dinner, it's like, if I didn't like it and I was very picky of what I want to eat, like, I would get in trouble for not eating it.
Yeah. I mean, kids these days, they'd be like, okay, if you don't want that, we'll make you something else. But we used to get, like, the one meal, this is what you're having. And if you don't want to eat it, well, if you're not hungry, you'll be sitting there cold and you can come back and eat it after.
Yeah, like, that's how my parents said. That's how I started eating roti too. It's just like, okay, no, I have to eat it. I'm not going to get anything else.
Yeah. I feel like kids these days have it way too easy. We used to get shit done all the time.
They are catered for everything.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
I feel
they're too sensitive.
We say our parents didn't understand. I feel like I don't understand the generation now. Like, I don't understand. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
It's like, yeah, I don't know. This AI stuff is messing the kids' brains up.
Not even just AI. Some of the words that these kids come up with. Like, I don't understand. Like,
where the whole 6'7" thing came in the trend.
Oh my god. Let's not even get on that, man. Seriously, 6'7". I'm like, what?
The amount of time I heard people say that.
Oh my god.
So, like, it was so hilarious. So, in dental, like, we have tooth numbers. So, like, there's 6, there's 7. Oh my god, when the dentist would be like, cavity on 4-6, cavity on this tooth number 4-7, they'd be like 6-7. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, I know everything. And then anytime someone says 6-7, like 6-7, you're like, literally means nothing. Stop it. I don't even understand it. Or when people like, okay, I know we're getting into like, okay, this is like aging us now. Even abbreviations. Like, I know we say parents probably never, no, they don't understand.
They don't know any of them.
No, they don't. Sometimes I don't even know what an abbreviation means. I'm like, huh? I remember once I was making a post and I wrote, like, instead of saying, like, fully writing out sister-in-law, I just wrote Sil. Thinking people would know it's sister-in-law. And they're like, what does Sil mean? I'm like, sister-in-law?
I wouldn't even know that
one. Okay, that's easy. Bill, Sil, Mill, Phil.
Mill, I know, yeah.
Right? Everyone knows. But there's some out there that I'm just like, huh?
With all the jokes aside now, like, there are, like, things, like, I do appreciate about, like, the parents and, like, understanding their generation. Like, growing up, my parents did take me back to India and showed me, like, where they started from the bottom and how everything was. And then that's a really appreciated, like, okay, this is where they came from. This is why they act like this.
Of course, right? And I'll be honest, like, you know, the way we grew up and how they raised us, I appreciate it so much, right? Even sometimes, like, they don't understand us because nobody understood them.
Yeah, like, they have to think, like, they didn't grow up, like, rich, like, our parents. Like, they had to work hard for their money, and we got everything handed to us.
Exactly, right? Like, you know, we wanted something, they would give it to us, right? Even though, you know, we laugh at them, sometimes like, oh, they don't understand this. But, you know, we have such a great love from them because sometimes kids these days don't get it.
They don't appreciate the hard work.
No, they don't, because everything is literally handed to them, right? Yeah, things were given to us too, but we understood the value of money. We understood that, okay, we have to work hard if we want something because that's how they raised us. That's how they were raised, right?
Yeah, like, I agree with that. Like,
yeah, and like, you know, our parents grew up differently, so they see things differently, right? But at the end of the day, our parents grew up in a completely different world. So of course they're not always going to understand the way we think or live now. That doesn't mean they don't care. It means there's a gap between generations that a lot of us are still trying to navigate. And honestly, sometimes understanding each other starts with just another conversation. Before we go, it's time for our tea of the week. This week's question is, what's something Indian parents will never understand? DM us your answers on Instagram, and we might read some of them in the next episode. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of Jaw, Chaos, and Chill. Don't forget to follow, subscribe. We've got plenty more jaw, chaos, and conversation coming your way. Until next time, try explaining it to your parents one more time. Bye, guys.
Bye.